Don't forget to go to ashkicking.com for pound the best home health and beauty fragrance.
We're here.
Now let's try this. Now walk up to me from there.
Okay. And do the same thing?
And do the same thing.
Hey guys, it's Kirsty Maciel and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
It's the biggest fight in all of boxing. I'm gonna go ahead and take another call. We're about to get up out of here, y'all, but I'm gonna take one more. We got 661. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man? Turn your background down, because I can hear myself. I can hear myself in your background, so it's echoing.
What's up, Dante?
What's going on, Jorge? How you doing, man? What's on your mind,
Nothing,
man?
Mr. Powell. Much up to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Your forum. I appreciate you guys giving the folks, a time to share their thoughts and stuff. I've been listening to you guys for a good while, maybe a year now.
Oh, nice, nice. That's what's up, man. Good looking, man.
Thank you.
You got to understand one thing, man. When Canelo, Canelo's talking about the whole meat and the whole meat and stuff, and then I heard you and Money saying that well, shoot, I need to get me on some Clenbuterol also, so I can lose whatever it is, bulk up or whatever. But in a sense, I can see your point, but at the same time, I mean, you got there's been studies that have shown how yes, some of the meat out there, I will say, but they say 38% of the meat out there is contaminated. But I mean, you can't really take that verbatim, because you don't see every Mexican out there, in shape, bulked up.
Right, that's understood. That's understood.
I mean, most Mexicans out there, they're fat, short, and stubby.
So what you're saying? Not to cut you off, but what you basically saying is, we got to give Canelo the benefit of the doubt, because it might actually be meat contamination and he didn't know about it. Is that what you're saying?
It could be one or the other. The truth is, it can't be proven. I mean, even and I heard you guys talking about the lie detector. The lie detector, I mean, it's not permissible in court because it's not really 100% accurate. I mean, you can't really trust a lie detector.
But it makes. But the one thing it will do is it'll make fans more. It'll make fans believe him a little bit more if he were to pass it. But forget it. But we don't even have to go with the lie detector test. How about him just telling people where he ate the meat, and once again, like my girl El Flora said, he has his own chef. So I mean, if you think you came across some contaminated meat, why not let people know that this is where I ate the meat, and why not do that?
Yeah, and you know what? And I hear you. A lot of times, and you know what? That's actually what I think is going on right now. They're just not letting it all. They're not releasing everything until they know.
Well, that you may be right about. There's no telling what's going on right now behind closed doors. That's true. We don't know that yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying, and Money Powell had said something about that. As far as getting it out there and trying question him, doing the investigation, and I think that's what they're working on right now. Okay. A lot of times we get the news. We didn't hear about the Clenbuterol situation until after that press conference. I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but that press conference that they had, it wasn't a press conference, but it was actually they didn't do the all the state tours.
I don't mean to cut you off because we're running out of time, but I want to ask you. So once again, let's just say he didn't know. Let's say he didn't know and he just consumed it. Let's say somebody forced him to eat it. Let's just say somebody forced him, hypothetically. Let's say somebody forced him to eat dirty meat. How does that change the situation, the perception that Canelo Alvarez is going into the fight with a drug that coincidentally gives you an advantage in
That's
training.
one thing that I'm in agreement with you guys.
Well, that's the only thing. But that's the only thing.
Of the result,
But that's the only thing we've been talking about, though. So you agree with everything, because that's all we've been saying is it doesn't matter. That's all I've been saying is that it doesn't matter if it was intentional. It doesn't matter if he was asleep and somebody injected him just to make him look bad. None of that matters. The fact is he's going into a fight with an advantage in training. He doesn't have to worry about losing muscle when he trains. He can preserve his muscle while, burning fat. Once again, real quick, I'll just say this. Think about this. If Danny Jacobs were to beat Gennady Golovkin, let's just be realistic, and then we found out that he had Clenbuterol, traces of Clenbuterol, in his system, and he tested positive twice before the fight. What do you think? What do you think the backlash would be? How he would be treated after the fact if people knew that? Do you really think people would say, "Hey guys, well, you got to realize it was meat that he ate. He didn't know that he had that advantage. He didn't know he had this advantage to go in there and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." If you benefit from it, does it really matter if it was done intentionally or not? It doesn't really change anything. Does it change Golovkin's mind or what he thinks? Does it change what the Nevada State Athletic Commission or anyone? Does it change any of their opinions?
Yeah, no, and that's why I have to agree with what you're saying. Is that the fight overall is tainted already. I mean,
extremely.
It's already got a dark cloud on it. So regardless of whether Canelo wins or not, it's gonna have that asterisk on it, and I understand that. So no, that's why I say I agree with you guys on that end. And I mean, if the fight gets canceled, it's gonna suck because, I mean, aside from what you guys think, as far as what you guys have been talking about, that you guys don't really care to watch the fight. There's a lot of fans that do want to watch the fight.
Oh no! I never said that. We never said that. I never said that. All I said. This is what I said. Understand this, George. What I said is, regardless if Canelo knocks out Golovkin, he's not going to get the credit for it. He's not going to get full credit for it because this is all people are going to be talking about. What I said was, if I was Canelo, I'm talking about Canelo personally, not from the standpoint of a fan. I'm saying if I was Canelo, I would personally pull out of that fight because I don't want credit to be taken away from me if I knock out Golovkin. Yeah. My biggest win, and it happened to be a win where I tested positive for a banned substance. You feel me? Yeah. So I would love I would love to see the fight, but once again, if I'm Canelo is in a bad situation, man. That's all there's to it. Yep. He's in a bad situation, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Yeah,
you're right. And one last thing, man. You guys do mention that he tested twice.
Yes.
He tested 2 different times, and he failed both times. But you got to understand, the first time that he tested, it was at a slightly higher. It was at they tested him, and it was slightly higher than the second time. The reason why they did that was, to make sure that their first test wasn't a dud, and so they went ahead and they tested him again, and it was accurate. He did test positive, although it was a picogram. It was measured in picograms, so it wasn't a whole lot.
But George, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
No, you can't water it down, but with time it does.
Hold on, George. Okay. Everything you saying right now, because remember, it's not. You got to remember, bro. It's not just me reporting this stuff, and it's not just me saying, the facts are the facts. Clenbuterol, we know what it does. You preserve muscle while burning fat. Do you think that what you're saying right now is going to make Golovkin feel more comfortable? Golovkin is the one fighting him. If Golovkin were to listen to everything you just said to me right now, if you were to tell him, but Golovkin, you got to understand, I know he tested positive the first time, and then he tested positive again, but it was this and it was that. And do you think that's going to make Golovkin say, okay, you know what, now since you put it that way, I feel a lot more comfortable going into the ring with this guy, and I don't feel he's cheating, he's doing anything like that. Do you feel that what you're saying right now would change Golovkin's opinion on the matter?
No, but I mean, he voiced it himself. He said, you're going to fight him either way.
But that's a different... I know, but that's a different story, though. We're not asking how tough he is. We're not asking how bad he wants to fight. We're asking if he thinks that Canelo is cheating. That's what we're talking about.
I know. Yeah, no, I think Golovkin is looking for any and like any other fighter. I mean, yeah, of course. No, you're right. And any other fighter is going to use that to their advantage. And an argument, they're gonna find the weakest link and try to use that to their advantage. Oh well, the reason why I lost was because of course he was testing.
So you don't believe Golovkin is genuine. You don't believe he's genuine when he says that I believe that Canelo is cheating. You think he's doing this just for an advantage? You don't believe that he's upset about this?
No, I to be honest with you, I think that Golovkin is being coached. I think that he's a puppet.
So you don't believe? So you don't believe
by a puppet master? Okay. And, I think that a lot of the reason why he even spoke up later was because after all the time, because he didn't say that initially. Now remember, initially he didn't. He was saying, well, it could have been contaminated meat. We're gonna find out either way. How the fight's on.
George, hold on, George, because once again we short for time. I'm gonna let you speak, but so you telling me if you was in Golovkin's shoes and you found out your opponent tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug, you telling me you would have no problem with it? You wouldn't say any of the things that Golovkin is saying? What would you say if you were in that situation?
And that's the main reason why. That's the main reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. Look, if it was me, and I was about to fight somebody, and I knew that they were on a PED, I wouldn't fight them at all. I would say, you know what? Nope, that's it. Next, who's next? Because the fight's already tainted. But that's not what he's saying.
But that's two different things, though. That's two different arguments.
Well, yeah.
But hold on. But that's a different argument because once again, if we're talking about how tough Golovkin is versus what he thinks about someone failing a test, those are two different things right there. Deontay Wilder, he still fought Luis Ortiz after Luis Ortiz was suspended for taking PEDs. Yes. He wanted to fight him so bad. That doesn't exonerate Ortiz from what he did before. But hold on, somebody wants to respond to you because I'm seeing in the comment section. Hold on one second. Reggie just called in. Reggie, go ahead. What's going on, man? What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, hey, what's up, nation? What's happening? Yeah, with the caller, man, the excuses
he's still
for what Canelo has been guilty of, it makes no sense. There's no excuse for what actions what resulted in this test. You cannot defend any of that. A cheat is a cheat, and it cannot be allowed in any professional sports. And we've been seeing this over. You go across the land of all sports. We see any of these athletes who get in trouble for these tainted tests. I mean, so not even tainted tests.
Just spelling positive, just testing positive, period.
Yeah, testing positive, period. They always come up with these same excuses.
Well, not always. Let me correct you on that one.
All the time. None of them will admit to these things. And the reasoning why it makes more sense with Canelo doing this type of thing in boxing is because his competition has stepped up for him. He has found himself in more difficult fights. And even with the fights that he's been given these judgments on, there's a lot of controversy between it. So to separate himself, it makes all the sense for him to be doing this. And then here there's a ton of evidence being popped up on YouTube where people are pointing out to evidence related to him utilizing these medical drugs. So there's no excuse for it. A cheat is a cheat.
Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
I hear you. You're still on, George. Go ahead.
Yes, we.
Okay. Yeah. No. And my argument is not to excuse the cheat. My argument is, and you said always, but no, that's not the case. They don't always suspend them, or has a fight never always been suspended because of?
Did you say that, Reggie? Did you say they always suspend him?
No, I didn't say that.
That's not what he said, George.
He didn't say always.
No,
so your argument is your argument for there being different variables that may explain, what may have popped up in the test, and are you more so just like you want to wait till you hear everything, like all the details, the explanation from the camp, go through the hearing and whatnot before you make your judgment on the situation. Is that where you're coming from?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Everything's got to be taken on a case-to-case basis, especially because of the substance. I mean, I know that you guys call it a steroid, but in all actuality,
I never called it a steroid, bro. You got to stop. You got to stop. I never called it a steroid.
In general, most of the YouTube posts were saying, that, and people call, the
but you can't call
Canelo.
But you can't call us up. You can't call us up and bunch us in with what someone else said. You gotta keep it within the conversation we having right now. You know what I mean? Because that just because if I start throwing that at you, go ahead.
I've been listening to you, Dante. I've been listening to you, and I heard you. Sometimes you refer to saying that clenbuterol is used to increase muscle mass, but it's not really increased to you.
I'll put the link up. I'll put the link up. I'll put the link up. While you're saying that, I'll put the link up right now because there are studies that say it increases muscle mass while burning fat. Regardless if you say it increases muscle mass or it preserves muscle. Hold on, guys.
It's never been proven. It's never been proven on humans, but on animals, what it does is it says because I know because my family raises livestock in Mexico, so I will. They give them clenbuterol so that the meat can be shut down for that. It can be. Well, I mean, because they do the same thing out here in the United States, but not that. That's not shut down for that.
Where are they getting the clenbuterol from? You see, that goes back to what I was saying.
You gonna get Canelo. Man, you gonna mess around and get Canelo in more trouble. You keep talking, man.
Anybody that has. I mean, it's like where does the bombs come from that the Palestinians make? Well, anybody can get the product. So I'm saying anybody can mix up a concoction. If you know clenbuterol, when you take clenbuterol, you never really know because it's not really measured. So you never really know how much of a certain ingredient you're taking. So
okay, we kind of getting away.
But we actually really know.
But you had stated earlier, which nullifies a lot. You said if that was you would not go through with it.
Yeah, you wouldn't take the fight.
Triple G is saying right now he has issues with that. So really, you're siding with Triple G, even though you stated what you stated.
And you say you agree with what you.
I'm saying if Golovkin really honestly believes what he's talking about and all the stuff that he's saying, then he should just pull out of the fight.
What does he not believe? George. Hold on, George.
It's like a smoke screen, basically.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna let you say that. I'm gonna let you say that again, Kirk. But I want George. What is it he doesn't believe? You said if he believes that he cheated. What is it Golovkin doesn't believe?
If Golovkin honestly believes everything that he's saying as far as
but you said, but what does he what does he not believe though? Because you're saying if he believes, that means you're implying it's something he doesn't believe deep down. What does he not believe deep down in your opinion?
It's not so much that he doesn't believe. It's just not. It's not a point that's made. That he doesn't really believe that Canelo is on steroids. Okay, because
we never said he was on steroids. We never said.
No, but Golovkin believes it.
Golovkin believes he's using drugs. Golovkin believes he's cheating and using drugs. Steroids is a different drug.
He said he believes he's injecting because of the pictures that he brought out. He said that doctor sent him pictures and then he even pointed out the pictures of a shot on his shoulder and a shot on his belly.
So what do you think? So what do you think?
What I'm saying is that if you really believe that, then why is he still saying that he's going to fight him?
So George, so what do you think? How do you think this should look? I mean, like, how do you think Canelo should be perceived in this situation?
Okay, so from what I'm seeing, as a boxing fan, is okay. He tested positive for 2 tests in early February or late February, and then the other 2 tests that he took he was negative. So
Because
you know, they should give. Yeah, they should give him an option. Okay, do you want to fight? Yes. Okay, no. Or if you want to fight, you're gonna have to sign these waivers because you already knowingly know that you're gonna be fighting a fighter that tested for Clenbuterol the first 2 tests. That should be it. But for him to start accusing and start telling telling the whole public that, he believes he's a cheat. Not only him, but then he starts bringing up De La Hoya as a cheat, and he's dirty also. It's just like he's doing way too much.
So you don't believe Golovkin should have called him a cheat? You don't believe Golovkin should have said that he's using drugs?
For PR, okay, as far as for PR moves, he should have kept his mouth quiet because I think that's the reason why HBO has to act, or not only HBO, but the commission has to act. That might be. It might be. So now, we're not going to get sued because, Canelo, knocks out Golovkin, and then Golovkin has some kind of permanent damage, and he's claiming permanent damage.
Okay. And like I said, because once again, we winding down. But what exactly? And don't tell me what other people said. What exactly have we said? Because you said at the beginning you pretty much agree with a lot of what we're saying. What exactly are you disagreeing with? Because I don't understand what you're disagreeing with.
No. It's not so much that I'm disagreeing. It's just I'm disagreeing at certain points.
With what? With what in particular? What in particular? What did we say in particular you disagree with?
There's several points, but one of them is as far as you guys saying that Clenbuterol does what it does. It really doesn't.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna read. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and read. I'm gonna go ahead and read this. Hold on for one quick second. Let me see where it is right here. Hold on. I'm gonna read this real quick. I'm
absolutely right.
Hold on. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna read this real quick. I don't want to mute you guys, but I want to read this real quick. Okay, Clenbuterol. It increases muscle mass by increasing protein synthesis. One of the advantages of Clenbuterol is that it works wonderfully to reduce the fat, especially in the abdominal and visceral fat, which is normally very hard to achieve otherwise. Visceral is what I meant to say, not yet. But anyway, so that's a study right there. You see, so everything I'm telling you is an actual fact. So who are you disagreeing with? You disagreeing with the doctors, the studies?
No. Well, see, and that's another thing. You're reading off that study, but there's other
Should I believe you?
It hasn't been.
Okay.
It hasn't been proven in humans.
Tell me what Clenbuterol does. Tell me what Clenbuterol does. Tell me what it does.
What Clenbuterol? Okay, mainly what Clenbuterol is used for is it was originally fabricated to treat bronchitis and those that.
No, tell me what the benefit. So you don't tell.
They found that it was.
Well, but you got to get to the point though. But George,
we're able to cut weight.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's mainly used as a weight cutter. It's like a fat burner. It's what it is.
But listen, George,
right, it does sustain the liquids in the muscles
while preserving. George, you would agree. George, you would agree that it helps you preserve muscle. You would at least agree with that, right? It's like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been found to preserve muscle while burning fat. Yes,
And
totally.
that is the advantage right there, because anyone knows that when you're not using the right supplements, and you over here you're losing a whole lot of weight, you're going to burn muscle when you burn fat. There's a supplement that I use. There's a supplement I use. It's called glutamine. For everybody that bodybuilds, you know what glutamine is. You know your bodies are made up. 70% of your muscles are made up of glutamine. So what happens is when you work out, when you tax your body and you have an extreme hard workout, you're burning a lot of the glutamine in your muscles. Therefore, you're burning muscle and you're burning fat. So you take the glutamine to preserve the muscle. But Clenbuterol is doing that on a whole nother level. See, that's the thing. So if Golovkin has to burn weight without Clenbuterol, that means he risks losing more muscle. So while he's losing muscle, Canelo is preserving muscle. So I mean, you would say that's a little bit of an advantage for Canelo, right?
That's totally an advantage, and that's why it's banned, and that's why. So
what are we disagreeing with?
That goes into what I'm saying is that I believe that because nobody can say 100% sure whether a lie detector or not that he took his purpose, the reason why it showed up in his urine.
But George, you agree with everything I said. Everything I said just made sense though, right?
Yeah, no, and what it is you have to keep hydrated. That's why they tell you drink a lot of water. But what Clenbuterol is, it's like a hybrid of type of hydration. So it allows you to retain the hydration in your muscles.
So you think? Does he have an advantage, George? Does he have an advantage in training over Golovkin? There it is. There it is. So we agree with everything, George. We agree with everything. Hey, but George, I gotta go. But seriously, bro, I really appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you saying you've been watching for a year, bro. Call in anytime. I appreciate you calling in. Okay, man.
Hey, you too, man. Thanks, Money Pal, and everybody else on the podium. I appreciate you guys, what you're doing, man. I watch you guys all the time. And keep up the good work, brother.
Thank you, George. I appreciate it. Good stuff. Good conversation, man. Good conversation. Hey, guys, I know I got you guys up late. We're going to get out of here, but I got to get my man Alonzo from Box Fan Expo on the show because he just called in. But he don't show me no kind of respect because he just call in when he want to call in, because he all big time with the Box Fan Expo. Hey, turn your YouTube, turn the live show down in the background. What's going on, Alonzo?
We're ready to go, baby.
Box Fan Expo, my man. This running the Box Fan Expo. I've been telling you guys about. What's going on, Alonzo?